My parents handed my sister Clara an envelope containing first-class tickets for a luxury Mediterranean cruise, paid in full. Then, my dad slid a crumpled $2 gas station scratcher across the Thanksgiving dinner table toward me, laughing as he said, "Maybe this will cover your toll on the way home." They expected me to look humiliated. Clara even took out her phone to record my reaction for social media. But 20 minutes later, sitting in my car, I scratched that silver foil and saw 9 matching zeros, $100 million. And I decided right then to keep completely silent. I drove 3 hours in freezing rain to make it to my parents' house for Thanksgiving dinner. I walked through the door carrying homemade apple pies, only to be greeted by silence while my parents fussed over my younger sister, Clara. Clara was 30, lived rent-free in their guest house, and hadn't held a steady job in 2 years. I, on the other hand, had worked 70-hour weeks at an engineering firm just to scrape together a modest down payment for my condo. Dinner was a familiar nightmare. Every conversation revolved around Clara's latest creative pursuits, while my promotion was dismissed with a brief, indifferent nod from my mother. Then came the annual holiday gift exchange. My mother clapped her hands and handed Clara a thick, gold-embossed envelope. Clara opened it and screamed, pulling out first-class airline tickets and an all-inclusive 7-day Mediterranean cruise itinerary. My father smiled warmly at her, then reached into his flannel shirt pocket. He pulled out a crumpled, silver $2 scratch-off lottery ticket and tossed it next to my napkin. "Here's yours, son," my dad said with a dry chuckle. "Don't spend it all in one place. You always were better at scraping by than the rest of us." Clara smirked, taking a sip of wine. I pulled a quarter from my pocket, keeping my face blank while my mother poured Clara another glass of champagne. Clara was already holding up her cruise brochure, posing for photos to post online. Nobody was paying attention to me. I pressed the edge of the coin into the silver latex coating of the ticket, scraping away the dust into a neat little pile beside my water glass. Match 3 amounts to win the grand prize. The first box revealed $100 million. I stared at the bold font, assuming it was a gimmick number meant to build false excitement. I cleared the second box. The exact same number appeared, $100 million. My breath hitched in my throat, but I didn't make a sound. My hands were completely steady as I scratched away the third and final box. 3 identical amounts. A clean, undeniable match. My heart thumped against my ribs, heavy and slow like a sledgehammer, but my training as an engineer took over. No gasping. No screaming. No celebrating. If I spoke now, that ticket would be snatched across the table, claimed as a shared family gift, or pocketed by my father. I quietly slid the ticket into my inner jacket pocket, zipped it shut, and stood up. "Work just paged me about a server outage," I said calmly. Clara didn't even look up from her phone. I walked out into the cold night completely transformed. The following Monday, I took a day off work and hired Marcus Vance, a top-tier estate attorney known for managing anonymous high-stakes trusts. Under state law, winners could claim prizes through a blind legal entity. Marcus set up a private LLC, submitted the paperwork directly to the State Lottery Commission, and selected the lump sum cash option. After federal and state taxes, $58 million landed safely in my newly opened private banking account. While my entire world changed overnight, my family's demands stayed predictably selfish. The family group chat buzzed endlessly with Clara's entitlement. She texted asking if I could drive her to the airport at 5 in the morning. Watch her spoiled Persian cat for 2 weeks for free, and contribute $500 toward her onboard drink package because family always pitches in. My mother chimed in immediately, messaging, "Be a supportive brother for once. You have an engineering salary and no dependents." I didn't argue. I simply texted back, "Can't make the airport run, but have a safe trip." I quietly tendered my 2-week notice at work, citing personal relocation. Instead of blowing money on flashy sports cars or designer clothes, I worked with Marcus to build a fortress of diversified index funds, municipal bonds, and secure investments. Then, I bought a secluded 4-acre modern craftsman estate 3 hours away, paying entirely in cash, ready to build a life completely outside their toxic reach. 6 months slipped by peacefully. I settled into my new home, filled my days with woodworking, and enjoyed a quiet life free from corporate pressure. My parents and Clara barely reached out, unless Clara needed someone to co-sign an auto loan or my father wanted free IT troubleshooting. Then came the local news broadcast on a Tuesday evening. The state lottery had launched a publicity campaign outside the corner gas station near my parents' suburban neighborhood. A massive vinyl banner hung across the storefront reading, "Winning $100 million ticket sold right here." The broadcast clearly showed the surveillance timestamp from Thanksgiving morning, the exact 30-minute window when my father had stopped for cheap cigars and fuel. My phone rang within 20 minutes. It was my father, his voice breathless and frantic. "Son, where's that scratch-off ticket I gave you at Thanksgiving? Tell me you didn't throw it out." "Why do you ask?" I asked, keeping my tone perfectly neutral. "Because I bought the winning ticket," he yelled into the receiver. "The news just confirmed it. That ticket came from the Quick Mart on Elm Street. We're rich. Bring it over right now so we can redeem it together as a family." Clara already found a penthouse downtown. "Dad, that was 6 months ago," I replied evenly. "You tossed it at me as a joke." "It's family property," he snapped, his entitlement roaring back. "We're meeting at the downtown steakhouse tomorrow. Bring that ticket, or don't bother calling yourself my son." I walked into the steakhouse wearing a simple jacket. My parents and Clara were already seated in a prime booth, ordering expensive bottles of vintage wine like they already owned the entire establishment. As soon as I sat down, Clara leaned across the white tablecloth, her eyes gleaming with unfiltered greed. "I already booked a meeting with an architect," she announced without greeting me. "Mom and Dad get the Florida estate, and I'm buying a luxury penthouse. We'll give you 5% as a finder's fee." My father nodded sternly. "It was purchased with family funds, son. We're being generous by including you." I looked at the three of them, the people who had dismissed me for decades. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't flinch. Instead, I reached into my leather portfolio and pulled out 2 crisp documents. The first was a photocopy of the Thanksgiving card, with my dad's handwritten note, "Don't spend it all in one place." The second was a notarized legal notice from Marcus Vance, displaying the state lottery seal and my sole private trust registration. "The prize was claimed 5 months ago," I said quietly, staring directly at my father. "By me. The entire jackpot is safely secured in an irrevocable trust under my name alone. That ticket was an unconditional holiday gift, handed to me in front of witnesses. Legally, morally, and practically, none of you have any right to that money." Clara's mouth fell open. My mother turned pale, clutching her glass. The silence at the table was suffocating. Then Clara shattered it, slamming both hands down and screaming that I had stolen her inheritance. My father threatened lawsuits, claiming breach of family trust, while my mother wept theatrically, begging me to remember who raised me. I tossed a $100 bill onto the table to cover my untouched club soda. "You traded your son for a $2 punchline," I said evenly. "You got exactly what you paid for." I walked out into the cool evening air, leaving their chaotic screams behind. Over the next month, my attorney served them with formal cease and desist orders after they attempted to contact local reporters, who promptly dismissed their baseless claims. Clara was forced to cancel her extravagant plans, drowning in credit card debt from luxury boutique shopping sprees she couldn't afford. Now, I sit on the cedar porch of my quiet countryside home, watching the sunset cast golden light over the tree line. No fake praise. No conditional affection. No family dynamic designed to keep me at the bottom. My life is calm, debt-free, and entirely my own. The best $2 my father ever spent bought me absolute, unshakable freedom.